Alrighty. Good evening, everybody. If you guys will give me just one moment, getting the other stream set up, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Looks like those of you who swung the puts might be waking up to a little bit of cash. Some pretty decent downtrend here so far. But we're gonna go ahead and go over the news. My watch list hasn't changed, but we'll go over meta setup, and then we will go from there, taking y'all's request as well. I know that there's some individuals who wanted me to take a look at SPY and Qs, so we'll definitely make sure to throw those in there. But otherwise, all right, there we go. Is audio okay, everybody? Can you guys hear me on TikTok pretty good? It says it's working. Oh, Planet Fitness commercial. I'm not sponsored by them. Planet Fitness, skip ad, please. All right, sorry about that, y'all. All right, I guess I deleted my TikTok app or my daughter may have actually. I'm trying to go live on TikTok. Sorry, guys. Hold on, I'm sorry, guys. It's asking me for a verification code, so I promise that it's me hacking into my own account right now, TikTok. The weekend, really good. The kids and my son had a sleepover, so he was vibing. Had a really good time. Of course, right when he became of age of sleepovers and stuff like that, it was the pandemic, so definitely kind of put a hamper in that. So it was kind of one of the first, significant like sleepovers he had with a bunch of his friends. So it was cool. He had a good time. But all right, let's see here. Damn. Hopefully you all had a good weekend as well. Oh my God. Okay. All right, I think we're good to go now. There we go. All right, perfect. Sorry about that, everybody. Okie dokie. So let's go ahead and just cover some brief headlines as per usual, and then we'll go ahead and get to the juicy stuff. So, anyway, oh, there we go. Last week, as per Ellie's prediction, we saw the S&P down actually just 5%. We saw the Nasdaq 5.6%, the Russell 4.4%, as well as the Dow Jones following at 4.58%. Amazon completed its 20-for-1 stock split on Monday and Friday evening, and Tesla announced a 3-for-1 stock split. But of course, one of their forgetting the name of it, it's a normal word that I just forgot. One of their chairmen is stepping down, I believe. I'll get the accurate one. I'm sure you guys know better, but I'm just forgetting the word right now. But definitely a major shareholder, which is the more important thing here, has stepped down from the board. So we most of the U.S. headline inflation numbers made a new cycle high ahead of next week's Federal Reserve meeting, spooking markets and, of course, sending bond yields soaring. Target told us this week that other retailers in the U.S. have too much inventory, and solar stocks were in focus as Biden rolled back tariffs, initiating the Defense Production Act to encourage domestic production. Of course, if you guys tuned in and you guys hang out with Rolly at all or trade with Rolly, you guys are well aware of the amazing trade that he took on BABA. But BABA, of course, had a solid week across the board as the overall space continues to improve on hopes that the government is loosening its grip on the tech sector. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. All right, there we go. One second, y'all. Okay, perfect. Sorry, I know that TikTok always just skips this part anyway, so I just went ahead and went live now, but give me 1 second. Perfect, okay. Good evening, TikTok, what's up? All right, so anyway, with all of that being said, going into this upcoming week, let's see here. So looking at the economic calendar, obviously, let's see here, that is June 7th. So starting off on the 14th, we have PPI, core PPI, high impact trading data, NFIB, small business optimism. On the 15th, we have a lot. We've got retail sales ex auto, import prices ex oil, export prices, Empire State Manufacturing, business inventories. There we go. FOMC rate decision. Now, before I go any further, I just want to ask everybody the question. If you have been following me, if you've been watching my videos, if you've been trading alongside us, those of us in Simple Stacks, then what do we know about FOMC and how, especially with the profits that we have made, how can we best prepare ourselves for the week ahead? I'll let you guys sit with that one for a second. But EII crude oil inventories, NAHB housing market index, we've got housing starts, building permits, initial claims, continuing claims, all high impact data on the 16th. And then June 17th, of course, we have industrial production and capacity utilization, medium impact. So what does this tell us? We've got a decent amount of data coming in this week, right? And I think that the chart possibly speaks for this data. So we'll take a look at that. But that's about it as far as the economic calendar is concerned. For some reason, my computer hates StockTwits. Okay, cool, we're good. But as far as earnings go this week, Oracle, really, and I'm only highlighting the ones that I'm interested in. Oracle is one of interest. I personally didn't see anything on Tuesday. I actually know High Tide. No, I don't know them, but I've connected with them. So I can't play them anyway. But nothing really except Thursday, Adobe, Kroger, which Kroger really is going to be interesting because if they hammer home the point that, and again, Kroger's more food sourced, but Kroger's also, Kroger has a lot of store. They own Fred Meyer's, which has a ton of inventory. So I'm curious to see if they are in a similar or having a similar experience as well. But anyway, that's it. Bitcoin is down 4.66%. Oh, damn. 26.7. I just got an update on the old phone here. All right. That's it as far as the boring shit. Now, let's take a look at futures because they're juicy. So at the moment, we have gapped down to support. This is obvious. I'll show you what the higher time frame looks like as of right now, but I want you guys to focus on this because this is where we're going to be playing, and we're really far from support, and we're closer to support than we are resistance, but and by that I mean dynamic. So this dynamic support line, not these key levels. So anyway, we've got 38.50. All right, and I'm going to show you what this looks like on SPY as well. 3850 is where we're gapping down to. If we hold it, or even if we move a little bit underneath it, the I would just say the likelihood of popping back up and gap filling, even if it's just a wick up to 3900, is a possibility. That is a supply zone right there. You guys can see it perfectly, well respected level. No reason to argue with this, and I think that that really would be a definitive level. So really above 3900, and obviously 4000 coming next, but that would be a reversal level, and then triggering, of course, that 3950. But that being said, let's go take a look at the higher time frame setup at the moment. And I find this really interesting. At the moment, it looks like SPY is going and could be building a falling wedge. Now, I have, and I don't like to confuse people with this, I do have a channel, right, that SPY is following. Let me fix that a little bit. So SPY is currently trading within this channel. And in order to bounce back up or even touch resistance again, which doesn't have to happen, but if it does, that falling wedge could likely come into play. So Larry Epstein, oh, got you. Let me share that again. Can you do SPY? Yes. What's the URL for my top monitor? I will tweet it out. So if you don't follow me, the link is in my bio. But I am gonna post that right now. I'll tweet it out every night. I pretty much have to tweet this out. So it's just I should get a hotkey for it. That's a really good idea. I should get a hotkey so it automatically tweets it. Think smarter. Yes, I got you. So that's the heat map for stock twits. And of course, SPY. And I did have this charted, of course, a minute ago. But same thing, guys. We have that same setup. Key support moving right there, super well respected. Moving down here, looking at this downtrend, super well respected. And of course, those key levels that I was just talking about is right here. So that's right where we're landing at the moment, and we're likely to gap down to that 385 level with continued, or with this current price action. If this level gets broken, then I do think that we're going for a support bounce around the 375 to 370 level. That's basically kind of the trigger point for me. So there's two levels. So let's zoom in a little bit here and just mark these out. So anytime we're on the 4-hour level and we need to be a little bit clearer as far as what levels we're going to be at. So look at that. That's 386.65. That's the level we're likely going to be around when we open. Our second leg down is at 380.55. That's a psychological number. And so those levels will be the levels that I react to if the market does fall. So it would be the 386.50 down to 380.50, and then ultimately probably about 370. So obviously psychological numbers coming into play here. You'll see that oftentimes in any strong up or downtrend. So Omar, most of the time my goal is about 1,500 to 2K a day. But I made a post, I was talking about this, is I can walk away with 400 bucks and feel just as fulfilled, I guess, if you will, because at the end of the day, it's still a substantial amount of money. And I know that due to my price or my risk management, and my willingness to react and be wrong, that I am going to make the right decision when that time comes. So, no. I mean, at the end of the day, I used to make about 80 bucks a day, working my ass off, sometimes 120 bucks a day, and that never leaves my mind. So, making 400 bucks, I know that bigger days will come. It's all about perspective and really delayed gratification. So if the market doesn't allow for more money, then I listen. If it does allow for more money, then count me in. So I would say, I'll be honest with you, I work probably I probably do more for the well. At this point in my life, like I do more for the chat. But as far as hours that I put into, like, it's just I just stick to a couple of things, and the whole point of this is that I don't want to be spending an extended amount of time in the market at all. You know, day trading for 3 to 4 hours a day is totally fine with me. But at the end of the day, I'm trading for time, my time back, so that I don't have to work the 9 to 5 and I can work on things I want to work on. I don't do this so I don't have to work. I just do this so that I can do work on other things. So, is AMC really the most it's ever been shorted? I have no idea. Can you explain the figures of determining line of sand? Are you talking about the lines that I just put here? We can talk about that in a minute. How Yeah, guys, I have not picked the mentorship people at all. Like that's coming. Be patient. The reason why is because I'm going to be this next upcoming week. I won't be there Monday or Tuesday or Sunday. I might be there Sunday, maybe. I don't know. They can't keep me away, but yeah, I'm about to go ahead and take chart requests. So if you guys. Yeah, if you guys are in the TikTok, sorry, I'm reading like 3 different things right now. My ADHD's weren't not working very well. But if you guys don't mind tapping your screen. So, how much do I invest on a trade? So, I mean, it depends on the ticker, you know, and the option chain, obviously risk to reward. But at the end of the day, I would say generally, on a good solid day trade, I'm spending 1,500 to 3,500 bucks. And I would say the 1,500 is, you know, it's not. I don't just buy a $1,500 position. I always scale into something. Always, you'll hear me doing it. I'm talking about one at a time, because the same way that I enter the trade is the same way that I exit the trade. So that way, there's a feeling of being able to capture the entirety of the move, but also seeing your analysis realized, which is obviously the goal. So, yeah, Nick, you can absolutely say. I wish that more people in the Discord would send me their technical analysis. And I know that I don't always respond to every single one of them. You guys, I do get like a lot of DMs across multiple different platforms. You know, I try to make sure that I respond to as many as possible. But yeah, of course. And you can tag me in live trading in the morning, and I'll take a look at the chart and give you my pointers. So I use TradingView for charting. This is primarily the only charting. I have and considered switching to a different platform like TrendSpider. The other day we had the whole entirety of the brokerage like lagged out. Or not brokerage, but charting platform lagged out and showed me gaps where there was none, and during the day, and it actually kind of messed me up. So, within a year, could I be making 1K a day if I try and start? One, I cannot promise you that. Two, it has a lot to do with who you are. I think that from teaching people for as long as I have, it's not about the information, it's about who you are and how you react in certain situations. So if you're somebody who's willing to be wrong, really willing to not only be wrong but learn from those mistakes, listen, you know, to advice or you know, to recommendations coming from people who've been doing it. You know, put the ego aside. So like that's a multifaceted question. It took me a year and a half. And then really, you know, like I was profitable, but turning a corner to paying myself, you know, that was like 2.25 years. It was, you know, it took some time even after that profitable mark. So every single person is different. Some people trade for 5 years and lose, and then all of a sudden they hit a win. But the way that I answer that question, you know, is that the realistic answer is no. Most people that I have met within a year and a half usually put far, and this is just from experience, put far too much money into the stock market against people's advice. Because at the end of the day, if you can turn $500 into 10 grand, that's awesome. But most people who turn $500 into 10 grand keep trying to trade on it as if they're a full-time day trader and they've now got it figured out. The one thing that I did to expedite this process is that I realized that the market was taking money from me, especially when I would hit that $10,000 mark. I would blow my account over and over and over again. So it was a constant up and down emotional cycle. So I decided to do what I call capturing the moment. And when I hit 10K, or even if I felt like I couldn't hit 10K, but I was close enough, I would restart the account. Because if I'm good enough to do it once, then I should be good enough to do it again. And what I found out is I wasn't good enough to do it again. And I had to do it again and again and again and lose that money sometimes. But guess what? If you turn $500 into $5,000 and you only use $500 after that, like somebody in my group, a friend of mine said, the market only gives you one. It'll give you one. It'll give you one account. And then after that, it's pain. Because a lot of people think it's free. And that's the unfortunate thing about people who sell courses and even Discords. And that's one of the reasons why we advise people who are new to stay away. Because at the end of the day, it's not realistic for every single person to step into the market and make money. That's an illusion. It's hard. It's not easy. And it does take discipline, which unfortunately, and this is from experience, a lot of people have not been taught or haven't had, experience with discipline, emotional discipline, or are not willing to listen to the advice given on how to strengthen your emotional discipline, because all of this is psychological. That's why there's a freaking fear and greed meter in the stock market. Because at the end of the day, if you have millions of dollars at your disposal, you can make people feel things and you can make people do things. That's for the real world and the stock market. So anyway, what are my predictions for SPY tomorrow? A gap down, more than likely. If we break the 386.75 support, I'll be looking for support around 380 even. And ultimately, I would say that anytime you gap down with a large gap above you on top of a support, most of the time you're either A, in for a choppy day, or B, an immediate reversal for the gap fill. That does not have to happen. And this is the thing about predictions that I just made a post about it. It's a little bit weird, but I'm not, I'm a weird guy. But these predictions that I make are not even believed, are not there. I don't put much stock in them, pun intended. I react every single day to key levels, supply and demand. And the structure, right, that I'm trading within is in my mind, but the price action has to meet up with that. And the thing about price action is it can change on a daily basis. Well, I'm fooped. I bought calls at market close on Friday to swing to Monday. So I have to ask, if you did buy calls, what was your thesis? Feel free to comment in the YouTube channel if you want me to actually read it, because TikTok, obviously. But I'm asking you because I want you to ask yourself that. A lot of people bought calls, but why? And I think that if more people ask themselves why they're doing things, that they would find out that they either A, don't know and could go find the answer, or B, they're just guessing. And guessing only makes money not a lot of the time. Wow, that was cheery. I'm giving up now. Well, I mean, if that speech kind of made you... So I think, and I know you're joking, but if that speech doesn't demotivates you, then I don't think that you have what it takes. I think that is a defining... And again, I know you're joking, so it's not directed towards you. But I don't think that's a defining factor. I don't. I think that... I think that is a defining factor, is whether you're willing to know that what you're going into is going to be difficult and prepare yourself the best way you can. A lot of the things that we struggle with as human beings reflect in our trading, right? Perspective, delayed gratification, or just perspective general, delayed gratification, like things like that are essential. Patience, being real with yourself about where you're at in your journey. Have you been doing it for 3 months? Why do you expect gains right now? Right? Think about this. A lot of people train to be if that's not if that if it's not a, I guess if it's the biggest obstacle and doesn't allow you in your mind to progress forward, then there's other options out there. That doesn't mean trading is the only way out. I leverage trading in order to get back my time so that I can work on things that I want to work on, not so I can stop working. I don't want to stop working. That is living. Living is, like not, and I don't mean by work, but living is more than just sitting on a beach. For me, this is my personal opinion. So again, you guys are on your people, and there's no judgment. But for me, there's things that I want to be doing, investing in, spending my time on, like, et cetera, et cetera. So, but again, this is a tough craft, and we have been, as a people, right, like as a general population, been sold an idea that this is a get rich quick scheme. Here's the thing: if you follow someone's signals and you did it exactly the same way that they did it, you're a robot. You're a robot. That's the only way that you can do it. And at the end, so we're human beings, and as long as it's your money and there's any fragment of an emotional attachment to it, which there's going to be, then you're going to react, right? If he sells for a loss and you've been doing this for a few days and you're not okay and don't have the perspective to understand that a $300 loss in the grand scheme of things isn't enough to nut check you, right? It's something that you can get back up from. It's something that happened to me. I mean, like, if you think, I think back looking at the number, I mean, I lost it was never money that I took back, but it always stayed in the account. But the amount of times I took, or 8 grand or 11 grand, and then blew the accounts, I could have had at that point like $60,000 to $80,000, and I was doing this on all the time, right? So, anyway, all right, enough ranting. I know you guys would like your lagging. Okay, let's see what we can do about the lag here. Hold on one second. TikTok, we're lagging here a little bit. No, not. I'm on YouTube as well. So I'm trying to make sure that they're good as well, because I love them too. Why do we got a poopy connection? It's probably stock twits, I swear. I don't know anything about it. All right, it's turning orange. Now it's green again. Okay, cool. All right, I think we're good now. Maybe. Cross your fingers. My opinion on Spy. Okay, so I'll give it to you straight. Just like what's going to happen tomorrow. Here's my thoughts. Here's my thoughts. We are more than likely, due to the fact that we are gapping down to support, there is a good chance that we bounce and possibly, doesn't mean we will, but could go for an attempted gap fill up to 379, 378. And if we break above that level, which I'll mark it out right here, that one right there, then we're probably going to go for the gap fill and retest 401. If we do not, I've said, you guys can go watch the YouTube video if you want me to go look at the full breakdown on SPY. But if we break below this 380 level, I have a target of 375. 370. YouTube, I apologize. All right. Well, if you guys want to head back over to TikTok on YouTube, I'll stay live on YouTube. But I do apologize. I'm not sure. My internet connection says it's bussing, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Maybe my neighbors are siphoning my internet. What's the best way to view price action? Supply and demand? Well, price action happens on a daily basis. Price action, I like to watch the tape. obviously the open up until about 11 or 10:30. And that'll usually give me an idea of what the price action looks like that day. So, and I'm a day trader, so it's day by day. Futures blood strategies and see what works for you. Your personality, your availability, your liquidity, your risk tolerance, all those things matter, and all of those things have to be identified. All right, so first off, we got Meta because it's on my watch list, and YouTube is pissing me off. All right, I think we're okay for now. All right, so number one, we've got Facebook looking dumb. Hit rejection off of its short time resistance. 1, 2, 3. That's dynamic. But most importantly, because key levels are key for a reason, it's right there at 200. So buyers refused $200, and therefore this has shown us a large or sizable. I almost said something completely different and ended my career. But sizable rejection down to 17, or excuse me, with the potential to move down to 170.69, which is the next level that I see for Facebook, which I wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly where it gaps down. I just tongue-tied the shit out of myself. Do I use stock screeners? Nope. Nope, I don't. I do if I'm looking for something in the market outside of the sector that I'm currently trading, if that setup doesn't end up playing out. But most of the time, I'll just go ahead and call it a day. So. Oh no, I almost said some weird. Yeah, it was almost. It was. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just. I wish I would have recorded this. All right, YouTube. This is my recording, moving from 8:50 Eastern time, obviously PM, and I will post this second half to the YouTube, or it's going to be there. Sorry. So if you guys are on YouTube, I am recording this as of right now, so that there's no lag and I can post it later. Okay. Anyway, so I see Facebook possibly moving down to support. It looks just like the Qs, probably because that's the ETF it's held within. I have a target on Facebook, and people are probably not going to like this. We're likely to gap down around 170, okay? 170, 169. And if we do see downside, I would look for Facebook to possibly move into the 163.20 level. 163, 165, somewhere in here. So you can see what looks and obviously resembles a falling wedge. This wedge is failing, okay? That happens. Patterns can fail. And it looks like it's heading for support. So Facebook at the moment looks like we could see some extended downside. But the only dynamic here is that we have already dumped quite a bit, and if we want to go short, we need to wait for the bounce. So if we gap down, let me tell you what a gap down means for me. A gap down means that we have FOMC that week, and the gap is now the range that we are likely going to be trading within for the next couple of days until we go to FOMC. So if you made a lot of money net last week and your account is green, maybe if you've done this before, learn from the past, right? What did we learn? And I said I was going to repeat myself. What did we learn about the last time that we traded before FOMC? All right. It is not always the greatest trading day, as a lot of indecision happens. And if we do gap down, there's going to be a lot of downside, and likely going to need, if we are at support, we are likely going to need a little bit of consolidation before falling any further. Can I be wrong? Absolutely. I remember this guy saying he makes mad money on Meta, and that was going up the other day. I don't know, dude. I have slapped Meta every way that humanly possible. The Discord can account for that. So, can you? Yeah. So, looks like Apple's next on the list. Apple. But I don't. I tell people this sometimes, but I actually I actually do. I just don't spell, like, I just spell apples wrong at the grocery store when I'm doing self checkout every time. Like, I don't even spell apple right anymore. What's wrong with me? All right, so there's your downtrend. Now, of course, Apple has what looks to be a daily double top, but that double top is, and for me, it's usually the neckline right there. That double top is if it is a trend reversal, a trend reversal pattern on the daily, then I do think that we have another leg down. So I'm going to step out to the daily time frame and show you what I'm thinking. So I do think that we're going to gap down, obviously with SPY, with our nearest support level around 132.80 and 135. So those are the two. I said that backwards. 135 and then 132. You can see S1 is hovering around that as well. Step back over here. Slap some levels on here for supply and demand. Look at that. Look at that. So this level right here, that is 128.50 and 123. That's 123.50. Those are the two key levels near my point of control. So if you don't know what that means, TikTok, have a look over here. So a point of control, now I'm using visible range. This is where the highest volume, right? And the yellow is sellers, blue is buyers. But this is where your heaviest buying occurs at the specific price level, not the time frame in which it was trading. So I use the volume profile on any given time frame. The hourly time frame when I'm day trading, a setup that is on, has been built over the last 4 days. I will zoom in and use that point of control to establish where the major resistances would be. For example, Apple's resistance or point of control for the last couple of days would be around 148 even flat. And what you'll notice about 148, that's where everybody goes short. That's where rejections happen, right? You see a little bit of consolidation right there. What's happening right here? Sellers are pushing the stock down. So anyway, I personally think that we have Apple around the 130s. So eventually I do see Apple to $80, okay? And I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but that's where institutions are sitting at. I will post an article tonight after this live on my Twitter, and you guys can read about that because it's long and we're doing technical analysis right now. So thanks, Potter, for helping people. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I wouldn't be able to help if you guys didn't like my content, that one guy who tells me that I look like a serial killer, him too. Thanks, dude. Love that guy. All right, what's next? Oh man, you guys got to chill out. Quit complimenting me. My head's gonna blow up. Bacteria. Every time I see back, I think of bacteria. I don't know why. Supply. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Big step. Sorry about that. Do you think so you think if Facebook gaps down, we're going to chop a bit before we get the next move up? I think Monday we'll see the most movement. So possible runs up to because what I'm saying is there's still tradable instances here, but I think they die down. So the most violent move could happen Monday and possibly Tuesday, and then as we move into the FOMC, we see that indecision kick in because that's what that brings. That's what we see when we're in that situation. So, and we've done it before. How many people have we've been through this? So we have to keep that in mind. All right, Bank of America. I hate that bank. All right, downtrend, dynamic, right there. We saw a rejection, a couple of fake outs. Currently, that's going to gap down. So inevitably, I would expect for Bank of America to be gapped down. And it also has a falling wedge. So you can see that right there. That support would have you around. And again, timing is everything. And that's something that I don't try and do is time the market. But I would suspect maybe 31.50 would be a good support level to watch for Bank of America. Now, one thing that you have to know about wedges, they look pretty, they're cool, but they also extend themselves. And they're one of the most frustrating patterns for new traders, especially those who think that technical patterns mean that is the move that is going to happen. Okay, we can all be wrong, and a lot of the times when it looks too good to be true, it often is. So can this flush to the downside? 100%. We've seen it a ton of times. So Apple put's going to print, yes, but let me tell you something. Let me give you one more thought, okay? So if SPY, and we've already seen the dynamic setup, okay? If SPY falls down, okay, when I'm looking at the chart, I'm not just thinking about the chart. I'm thinking about people. All right? What are people going to do? As soon as the support breaks, right? Everybody's going to be looking at 380 because that's the last place we bounced, right? That's where volume sits. That's where everybody, if we break it, guess what everybody says when we get near support? They say the same thing. Once it breaks this level, it's dead. So everybody's going to go short, and you know what's going to happen? They're going to squeeze those people out too. Regardless, I think that you'll still get a pretty violent retest. Prepare yourself for some volatility this week because we've played these before. And can you imagine what sucker got pulled into a short here? They don't give you time to recover. Okay, they send it up and then they shake you around, and then right when you cut. So just keep in mind, if the masses are moving short, it's probably going to bounce. So. Volume profile. Thank you. Thoughts on Tilray long term? I think that might be one of the few companies, but here's the thing. My thesis on cannabis companies isn't what people want to hear. It's not. Because the fact of the matter is when legalization happens, guess what? The allure of cannabis will die. Not saying that culture will die. Not saying that stuff will, but the tourism that drives these insanely high sales, because these companies are basically focused in on specific states. But when you open up the doors for American companies to step in, you're going to dilute that space a lot. And again, when you can just walk to the corner, it's going to take years of competing markets in order to find the gym. And that landscape is going to change. So it's still an uncertain marketplace for my investments. How do you get that tool? I'm struggling to find solid supports and resistances. This will definitely help. Can you check Apple? Volume profile, go to indicators. If you go to built-ins, technicals, there we go. Go to right here and go to volume profile, and it'll give you a series. So you can do session volume, which obviously is kind of like free floating. There's actually a volume profile up here that you can lay across your chart. But yeah. Yeah, for sure. Is Rivian still looking good? Yes. Rivian does look good. Sexy. All right, just kidding. So, we got a situation here, all right? And I talk to people about it, but what do, man? We don't freak out. We just react. That's it. So, we've got one. The magic number for me is always 3. Always 3, okay? What we have right now is a smaller, lower time frame hourly channel, okay? Looks good. I like it. Kind of has a head and shoulders vibe to it, but that's forcing things, and I don't like to force things. They need to be clear. And oftentimes when you force patterns, that's when you get faked out. So anyway, I expect for a gap down. I would suspect we're going to see $27. If we immediately flush or our move is straight to the downside, it's going to be $26.50, and I do think that there's a good possibility for a little bit of choppy price action. But ultimately, it's going to be this gap and support level. And again, right, if everybody goes short at a gap, and you, as a market maker or somebody who's putting liquidity in the market, if you reverse it off of that gap, you're going to have people squeeze off of it. So depending on the timing, which is not something that we are trying to do, we're not trying to time the market, right? We react to it. Is it at support? All right, let's look at the price action and determine on how and where we could bounce, where do we need to look for rejections, and where do we need to look for, continuation to the upside. So anyway, that being said, if we do make it around here, and I can't call it as far as where we're going to gap down, but I'm going to say somewhere around $26 or $25.75. If we get around there, I will likely start to take profit on the majority, not all, but the majority, because I will be thinking or watching for a bounce and gap fill to the upside. Okay. We will see where we are at tomorrow morning. And I will update you. So what I say right now, you have to take with a grain of salt, because I'm not fully bidding in on what my analysis is. What I'm doing right now is I'm finding the structure and the setup it is within, right? And if it respects that structure and that setup that it's within, it's playable. It's a setup that I can trade. If it doesn't, then I got to get back to the drawing board. Yes, I'm going to go look at Tesla. I'll look at Tesla after this. So last thing on Rivian, which Tesla's got a lot of news, baby. That thing might be good to trade. I'm tempted. I love a good Tesla short. I need somebody to remake Tesla shorts, because I will make content in those shorts. I might be getting ahead of myself, but we'll see. Anyway, so this is a bear flag on the daily that does appear to have broken to the downside, but that's not 100%, in my opinion, until we break below $25 even, okay? Because take a look at where my daily whole ribbon indicator is at. Do you guys remember the level that I was just talking about? 26.55. So the higher time frame data, right? Because this is the data, or this is the daily, is backing up my hourly time frame setup, right? How much more verification do I need? I just need to watch it. Obviously, that's where I'm going to start taking profit. Because when I see something, I do something. I don't just sit and watch. I try and be proactive in my positions. So, all right, Tesla is next. Look at that. That's what I got. No, just kidding. I don't know what I got going on here. All right, so I'll be honest with you. This is going to be one of those situations, okay, where where we gap down is definitely going to have a lot to do with this, okay? Because we could see Tesla down around 605, which could be a hellacious gap down. I'm really curious to see how the market digests one of Tesla's largest shareholders stepping down and them also going for another split, right? Because the last split happened during a historic bull run, and the price action was absurd. But right now, we're dealing with a ton of indecision. We're in a bear market, right? And we're sitting around some key levels, some major support levels. So really, in my opinion, and again, I see Tesla down to the 550s. I think I've stated this before. All right, screen record this, okay? And then send me this back, all right? I'll give you $50 if you do it. Send the first one who does it. Send it back to me on August 1st. Or not August 1st, never mind. In October. I do think, and I have a strong feeling, that Tesla could see the $400 level, boy. I'm telling you that there could be some more pain coming. All right, but at the moment, and you can stop screen recording now, because the realistic target would be around the 550s, and ultimately the closest one is our $620 and $600 target. So just don't listen to the wild bear in me, you know. Look at that TikTok. Look at that. We got the fruit board. Oh shit! I just spilled all my grapes. Sorry. I meant to do that. I hate grapes. Got you. No problem. SQ. Tesla is splitting. Tesla is going down to $3.48. That's a big brain trade right there, my G. All right, so everybody and their mother, and I've seen it. This is a bear flag on SQ. We're gonna go ahead and get out of that because bear flags like that, I'm sorry, they just don't do it for me. That's a bear flag. That's a bear flag, right? That's a grizzly bear flag. I like that. I'll short that. But that little thing, get out of here. I'm not shorting you. So anyway, that brings me to my next point, which is this is your support, more than likely. And I don't think that you have your resistance quite yet. But, let's see, we're going to go to the 4-hour now because I need to see exactly where this is coming from. Okay, cool. I think I'm on the money on this one. So watch SQ for a bounce around 59 to 60 bucks. All right, you could see a fake out. Please, 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 please understand that with technical analysis, candle closes matter. So if you see a 4-hour setup and it's 2 hours into that candle and it's below support, get wrecked because you might get wrecked. And they will drop it down, especially on some type of liquidity grab, right? Because if you're somebody who wants the best average, what are you going to let sellers do? You're going to let sellers think they won, and then you're going to go and you're going to wreck them. All right? Yeah, Ethereum's hitting the dumpy. No twerk. All right. So anyway, I would say that at the moment, and there is a lower time frame pattern. Hold on. There it is. Okay. So I think that's actually viable as well. Yes, it is. So that is your nearest resistance. So that other resistance that I drew may be a channel that is still speculative, but this is definitely a lower time frame resistance. And so I would speculate that at a bounce, and again, we can fail, but around 58, because here's the thing, and I learned this really early on. When everybody starts saying that this is the level that needs to be broken in order for this to happen, or you see a consensus there, like people will tell you if SQ breaks $60, it's going to dump. And that may be true. But at $60, they'll let it run down to $57, $56. And then that 4-hour candle close will happen right back up on top support. And all of those people will get squeezed out of their position, thus fueling the next run up to resistance. So keep that in mind. I hope that makes sense. If you guys are on TikTok, if you guys do me one favor, just let your thumb freak out on the screen right now, just for a short period of time. Just lose it, if you don't mind. I'm trying to hit that 30K, you know what I mean? That's all I'm asking. I just want your thumb. Now that sounds weird, but that's fine, as long as you hit that screen. Now it's worse. All right. Expected Tesla split? Yes, that is happening. Woo, look at this. All right. What are we looking at next? What's the next one? Give it to me. NVIDIA. So where is upside for SQ from 59? So anytime, well, hold on. Let's go look at it. Oh, you guys are going ham, dude. You guys have the strongest fingers. It's getting worse. So I would say that the ceiling, I don't like how ugly this is. I'm gonna be honest with you. Let me go. Let's see something here. This is where I might have to turn it. Yep, look at that. So extended hours is showing me the way. Okay, so if you do bounce, the first ceiling above you, this is where supply and demand are so important, right? So if the ceiling becomes the floor, or the floor becomes the ceiling, right, you're likely going to test it. So if you break from here, which you have, you've flushed it, and you move to the downside first, you're more than likely going to see $70. It's a psychological number. You need to be aware of the price action at that point. $70, and then you've got 75.15. SQ moves very technically, and will hit those psychological numbers almost on the dot. You can see it on the chart super duper clearly. Yo, you guys are crushing it on the likes, almost to 30K in like 3 minutes, dude. I'm in calls on your thumbs. So $79, $80 is right here. It does look like the majority of the candles bounce on 79.50. So change your phone. Charge my phone. Oh, you're dead ass. That thing's about to die. It's all right. All good things must come to an end. Temporarily. You're welcome. We are gamers. The thumbs are strong on us. Damn. They should do a thumb lift, like a thumb strength competition for gamers. Or like reflex test. Like basically like the NFL, you know, like draft type thing, but for thumbs. I'm going off on my left thumb just fell off. I appreciate that, dude. I appreciate that. I just forgot how to speak English for like a split second because of that. All right. So anyway, the next one was NVIDIA. We'll look at ASO after that. I'm making my way downtown, walking fast. Damn. Sorry, I'm just looking at my analysis. Damn. Dude, I'm sorry. So I'm just going to recap this because we did this on Sunday. Last Sunday, dude. And I love it. I love when this stuff happens. So check that out. You guys asked me last week, and I told you I saw a head and shoulders on NVIDIA, and that I was thinking that anywhere below that 181, that we're more than likely going to go for the gap fill. It decided to skip that and just hit the dumpy. And so, in fact, you did actually break below 178.50, and I have a dynamic support line right here. So 163. 163. That's likely where you gap down to. So don't quote me on that, but don't feel weird bringing it back up to me tomorrow because I'm going to forget. Use the 3-finger technique. Hold on. Cool, I'm in restore. Oh, nice. I love classic cars. There's your 30K. Thanks for what you do. Yo, thank you guys. So seriously, you guys are awesome. Bless all of your thumbs. The most blessing on your thumbs. Wow. My viewers have the strong... I'm sorry. Yeah. Head and Shoulders doesn't retest neckline. So that's a great observation. Cusco. I love saying it. Cusco. So anytime that you lose a key level that you were bouncing at hellaciously, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times you come close to or on this support and you bounce or you break or reject, etc., right? So if you flush something like that, you are going to retest it, and probably with some speed. The further away you get from that retest, the harder you're gonna bounce. And that has been my observation, and I was just talking to Manny about that. So if you don't retest, right, and what should allow you to what now there's probably a lower time frame retest, but not on that higher time frame, not a definitive retest of that head and shoulders. It will. If not now, it will get retested. So mark my words. All right. Doing a little backwards charting here. Damn. Okay. So that's real. All right. We're going to go to the 4-hour time frame. Really surprised that that's support. And so higher time frame tells me that you should see, this is 3, but it is not impossible or improbable to see NVIDIA bounce around that 162 or even wick down to 160, right? And then close that body above 162 and then reverse to retest the 180s. I'm going to tell you guys right now that And not only that, look at what it would set up. If that does play out, what does that look like to y'all? Right? Shoulder, head, shoulder. And where's the retest line? What do we have at that line? So one, right? How many? One, two, obviously bounces there. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So that's the shoulder line. But look at this trend line. Doesn't that seem to line up perfectly? Yeah. So watch for that. That's going to be my thought here. Now, again, it looks really awesome. I would say it's a higher probability setup. Can it be wrong? Yes. You need to set up your, like for me, the reason why Manny and me always look, well, maybe not the definitive reason for Manny, but for me, the reason why I want to buy off support and short off of resistance naturally is because I can use the same area in which buyers stepped up or sellers stepped up and use their money as my stop loss. So when I see people pushing a level down and we approach it again, and I'm aware of that level, and I'm looking for the price action to show me a rejection, smaller, lower time frame rising wedges, right? Reversal patterns, small double tops, just really choppy price action up against resistance, a lot of big pullbacks. The market itself sentiment is weak, right? So those are the things that are going to help me identify it. And then from there, I'm going to be able to start legging into a position using their average as my stop loss. Not because guess what? As long as you're up here, you're Gucci. But if you enter here and we did retest, you're gonna likely, most people are gonna likely dip. They're gonna exit their position. Thus, another W for the market makers or whatever you want to call them. So, all that being said, react accordingly. We only make money by reacting. So right? So make sure if you're not, and here's the thing, signals, and I just made a post about this, signals are only useful if you are learning from them. My analysis only is useful if it makes sense to you. So you need to go and look at your chart. That's the extra work, because what I'm doing right now could either be helping you substantially or enabling you and not motivating you or putting you in a position to work or go and understand the setup. So, and the main reason why that is we want to understand the setup that we're trading so that we feel confident in our knowledge of what is going on in the structure that we're trading within. So if you guys like the setups that I see, go chart it yourself. I may have missed something. So if you see something, tweet it out to me, DM me in the Discords, and I'll give you my opinion. I would rather be wrong than half right or a quarter right or just flat out. Like I would rather have an opposing opinion than none at all. So. Yo, 40,000 likes. I don't even think that I've had this many likes on a TikTok live. But if you guys are curious on what the hell this screen is here, because I know there's somebody out there wondering, and I'm thinking of you, buddy. But I tweeted it out on my Twitter, so you can go and check that out and save it on your dashboard, so you don't have to ask me anymore. Just kidding, I love you. All right, we'll do red box. Or no. I said ASO. We'll do ASO. Oop, apparently want to do ASP. By the way, if anybody says algo trading, right? If you ever see something like that, barcode trading, run. APO. I'm so lost, but desperate to learn. Okay, so that's awesome, dude. I just told my friend today, I said that's what it takes. Is you have to know that it's not going to be easy. Nothing is that's worth doing. Nothing at all. You want to cook, you want to homestead, that's hard work. You want to, start your own business, that's hard work. You want to be lazy and not do anything, that sucks and it's hard. So There's just no work involved. But you get my drift here. Um, yeah, ASO, I got you. I just put APO. I'm an idiot. You got me. All right. The Academy of Sports. Sounds like Trump University. No, I'm just kidding. The Academy of Sports. Let's see what you're looking like. I don't like the daily because it's showing some. Nope. Okay, that's valid. That it was weak price action up against your point of control. So those of you watching here on TikTok, you'll notice that the point of control is at 38.70. And you'll also notice that there's a lot of bounces, consolidation, right? Rejections, all happening off of that level. So 38.80 is obviously the level to break. I imagine with the overall market, ASO is liable to gap down. And it does look like that. Hold on one second. Let's see. Uh, Hold on one second. Let's see. 4 hour. Okay, I see it now. I knew I could see it, but I couldn't figure out where it was at. So it looks like, and it might be after hours that I'm missing data from. No, that's just an ugly lower time frame setup. Period. So, from what I can tell, you're actually holding a divergence, okay? And what that means is that as the overall market is failing, and this isn't on a technical pattern or a technical indicator, but based on the trajectory that this stock is or that the market has taken, ASO is lagging in that. So that could mean that if we do see a bounce, that ASO will greatly benefit from that and possibly go up to fill its gap at 37.80. But most importantly, it would go up to test resistance. And I think that's what's happening right now is you're spring loading up. And there is a possibility that you do have a rising wedge here. It's just not clear enough. And I don't like to force patterns because at the end of the day, that's how new traders and anybody is going to get faked out. So ultimately, with ASO, I would say you need to get that gap fill, $38, and then the point of control, which we were just talking about that 38.80 level, and then I would say that resistance is probably obviously the psychological number of $40. So anywhere around 40, watch for a potential rejection in that area because that is also an area that is the top of supply. So. I have not done Amazon, guys, but I am. It is 9:25, and if we want to be up early and doing this with more data, I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed soon. I see support now on ASO. I couldn't find it earlier. There it is. So there you go, and then it looks like resist. I mean, honestly, this is pretty ugly. I would say that's your lower time frame support. So anywhere below 35, or excuse me, anywhere below 35.24, I would say that ASO has a fairly decent chance to go and hit its next major level, which is around $34. And I can mark that out and you'll see. So when I call these levels, I would recommend going and marking that level out on your chart and seeing where the stock respects it. So you've got multiple candles closing under and around, and then ultimately you get a retest there as well. So that would be the area that buyers were present at or stepped up at is where I would be looking for a breakdown if I'm short. And then from that breakdown, I would say that I would be fairly confident in the $31 area. So. All right, red box. First of all, how? Second, okay, so that did end up falling, and it ended up going into a super. Oof, 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 oof. Boom. And bah. Now, it doesn't really matter. I think it's here. But it looks like this might be, oh man. I think they're going to run red box up. Now, again, technical analysis should be taken with a grain of salt, especially on stocks like this. I normally don't even chart. This is borderline a penny stock, but I would say that based on my only technicals here, I don't know any other information that below 12 bucks you're likely to go and retest this key level of $9. There's going to be a couple stopping areas, but $9 and then the gap fill. The gap fill happens at 860, and then from there you might see another cycle up into resistance at 1575. So Redbox is at 26% short interest. Cool. Well, that's not something I know, so that is definitely something to factor in. Bro, I'm a drummer and sent you over 2.5K likes. Good practice to keep my beats up per minute. Nice, dude. That is good practice. What kind of set do you have? I've got a 1989 Swing Star, Tama Swing Star that I restored myself. Texas dad things, man. Hang around for a little bit, dude. Go to my Discord. We have a good step-by-step process. You can check it out there. So. Okay, Jeremiah, just have maybe if you have options, if you have shares, then utilize those options. The way that I do, if I have, for example, if I bought shares of Redbox, and I knew that it was going to pull back, which honestly I don't understand how this company. I think it's a short squeeze, but only it could be a short squeeze, but it also can be a giant liquidity grab for what's going to end up being a dumpy company. I mean, it might end up just being a penny stock and just floating around I just don't understand. I need to look into their financials, but I think long term, obviously, but levels like the $12 level, if you can utilize options in your favor, 12 to 1075, 1075 to 950, 950 to 850, those are all levels that are definitely tradable. So if I get some all up, okay, that's a 6 set. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm probably. I have a Pearl export. I love it. Awesome, man. Can you do plug? Gross. All right. So what did I say I was gonna do next? I think I said I was gonna do one more. I think you've been asking for Starbucks, so let's look at Starbucks. Thanks for being patient. I know I don't get to everybody, and it keeps me awake at night. No, just kidding. But no, it does make me feel bad, and I wish I could catch everybody's technicals. But the one thing that you can keep in mind is if your stock is in the same ETF as one of the stocks that I'm charting, it probably looks a lot the same. Just food for thought. All right, so I just absent-mindedly just charted this. Ooh, yes, sir. So you are going to go down. Okay, so Starbucks is more than likely, and if you swung puts, good on you. But Starbucks looks like it wants to go down and snack on that 73.38 level, but ultimately I could see a bounce around 72.50 if you... let me reword that. That's where support is. I don't think that it could do anything there because there's no reason for it to bounce unless something changes. So we'll see what it does there because that's pretty far away. But the couple key levels, and remember, tomorrow the whole thesis is if we gap down to support, we could go in reverse and fill a quarter of that gap and just have a lot of up and down volatility. And going into FOMC, all right? That is I'm going to make a ton of warnings this week, all right? I'm going to be annoying the crap out of y'all with my warnings about FOMC. And it's just simply because I care and I don't want to see y'all lose money, okay? Because if you had a good week last week, that will change. Every strategy goes through a drawdown, and that drawdown has to do with trending markets. Okay? Sometimes the market is good for your strategy and sometimes it's not. That's why they tell you, or some people will tell you, that the most important thing that you can learn is when not to trade. So, if you have to lower your risk or reduce the amount that you're willing to put into the market based on the price action, Monday could be fun. Tuesday might have a little bit in the morning, but I think that sentiment kicks in after that. Yeah, she's asleep right now. But if you guys want, I can go shake her and wake. I'm just kidding. Yeah, she's asleep, but she seems pretty confident in her analysis. I told her that the confidence build up from a really out of the ball prediction at that age, like could lead her down a dark road. But I gotta let her go down the natural path. She did talk to me about selling courses, and we had to talk about that. But shit, I might buy it. No, just kidding. No, I did not, but I will finish the night on ChargePoint. Yes, tune in tomorrow morning for if you are in Rivian with me. Tune in tomorrow morning. I will let you know what I'm gonna do, but I don't know right now. All right, because nothing has changed between Friday and now. If Tesla has hellaciously dumped because that dude stepped down, hallelujah money. All right, but if it has not, then we're gonna use our wrist. Yes, 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 yes. Too many stocks oversold. Institutional field day, then sell off Wednesday, waiting for Fed summary. I like that. Does that mean it's true? Who knows? But I definitely could see that being a huge factor. Good way to word that too. No, I have not picked a mentoring group. I don't even want to be talking about it really when I'm on TikTok. But I am taking it seriously. It's only 3 to 4 people, and yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about it right now because this is by request. But yeah, no, I haven't. But if I haven't messaged you, that's not because I haven't chose you. That's just because I'm watching you. Not to be weird, but I am paying attention to those people who have requested my mentorship, and I am I want to make sure that if I'm going to give my time outside of the market to another person, obviously with an exchange, that if you're getting my 100%, I want someone who's like Manny said, I want somebody who's going to give me 150 because that's what it's going to take. And those people who have, especially with Manny, they've seen the result. Before all of this, and I was doing, there was only like 15 people who were following me, like they got the Joey, the fact that you were able to pull that off, I might have to do Baba now. But you just made me forget what I was saying. I think that guy stepping down was old news. The major shareholder for Tesla? That would suck. We'll see. We will see. Hmm. Um, so ChargePoint, I've said this before, and it has not broken out. And in fact, it looks like, unfortunately, and I actually like the company. I think it's a good company, but it's not. It doesn't look like their time quite yet. I'm not saying that it can't or that it won't, but it does look like it is experiencing rejection, and anywhere below $12.80, I would anticipate. I don't want to say that it's going down that far, but this is a big rejection, and one thing that I keep in mind, guys, is there is a metric ass ton of stocks that have returned to their previous valuations, or have gone lower, and all of them look like this. All of them look like this. You want to see some? I'll show you some of my favorite companies that I traded a couple of years or over the last 2 years. GRWG, I found it at $13, $12, somewhere in there. Caught it after earnings. They had a Hindenburg research report. I went and did my own research. I decided that they were full of shit, and that the company, regardless of the people who were running it, were still making money hand over fist. And so, especially with the COVID, we had a lot of cannabis companies picking up. And so, with that, this company ran from that $13 mark all the way up to $66. You want to know what it's trading at right now? $4.38. That is back to damn near IPO prices, and it has another leg down. It could be a $2 stock very, very soon. It is absolutely insane. Let's take a look at another one. JMIA, which is actually was one of my favorite stocks to trade. It used to be like I was like the JMIA guy, and then it just died, and then I didn't want to be that guy anymore, because it was just associated with falling. But ultimately, I found this one again after earnings and a bull market. If I'm looking for new stocks, I'm usually looking at earnings. But this one had already pumped, hellaciously dumped, and then after earnings, they kicked ass on earnings, and this thing ripped all the way up to $70 from that 13, 12, $10 price, and then now trading at $7. So yeah. All right, Baba. And then I've done Spy, so if you want Spy, go to YouTube. All right, so the one thing that we know about wedges is that they can extend themselves and they can also fail us, especially if they are on the lower time frames. Starting from our highs and running this across, it looked and still does looked as if we had broken downtrend. But the one thing, again, and this is important because on those down days, we have held our ground. And I still think that Baba could go and fill its gap and then possibly make its way back up. I'm ultimately always short on Chinese companies. I don't buy them. I don't. I have no interest in buying anything where Baba may be an exception, but most of these, even when you buy a share, you don't own that share, and I just don't like that. So again, that's a long explanation for a podcast. So, but anyway, I would like to see Baba short underneath 106.75. And then from there, I would say you have a target of 102. That's a day trading setup, though. Let's get Potter to 50K. Yeah, dude, that'd be sick. That'd be my biggest finger tapping session of all time. You guys are gonna have some serious finger gains, dude. I'm just gonna give you 150,000. You know what's really funny is there is an app called Hedge. Someone sent it to me, and apparently it's like, they take care of the legalities for you, but you can invest with your friends. I haven't looked into the details of the app, but if it's what I think it is, I was like, dude, there's a lot of fucking people who are gonna get in trouble. Like, there's a lot of people. It's scary, like, to think about that, but yo, 50K on the likes. Thank you guys, everybody. Yo, what's up, Jay? All right, guys. If you guys, I gotta go ahead and get ready for bed. I want to be up early tomorrow, especially with the price action that we've seen from futures. Let's see where we at. Oh my god! Oh shit! Yo. So guess what? Guess what, y'all? It looks like we are heading for support first. We are underneath 3850. So we could see 3800 or oh my god. That could, yeah. Yeah, we could, and then that, man. Woo! Everybody's going to be like short, 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 and they're going to squeeze them cheeks. All right, y'all. They're calling tomorrow Black Monday. Well, whatever they say, I don't care. Anyway, not kidding. All right, guys, have a great night. I really appreciate all of the likes. I appreciate you guys even tuning in, and I hope you guys learned something when you're here. But I will be up tomorrow morning as early as possible, and we can go ahead and get it rocking, and see if we can't make a little bit of money tomorrow. So we've been on a really, really, really amazing streak. All right, I have again. I'm gonna say this one more time. The way that we have traded Facebook over the last 2 weeks has been beyond my wildest hopes and dreams, right? Just as far as execution is concerned, absolute perfection for me, right? My standards. And I know a lot of you made money on this as well. I'm still going to be sticking in this stock, but my risk, right? Because I have surpassed my monthly goal twice, that I have to slow down a little bit, all right? Because usually when you're on your high horse, that's when you need to be looking around, because that's right when things change. And I have already stated it, and I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to remember it, because when the price action changes, right? So if we gap down, like if we go down to like 160 on Meta, and then we have the FOMC ahead of us, get ready for some choppy price action, because guess what? What happened during the week already happened over the weekend. That's a huge dump. So it may be that we have to be a little bit patient. But if anybody has any Meta puts, I want your autograph, okay? I'd also like a screenshot of that, and I'm going to frame it. Would you say it's a falling wedge on Baba? No, I would actually say that if it falls back underneath, it's a descending wedge. Or a descending triangle, actually. I will give it my 100%. Texas dad, dude. Listen, man, if you can DM me on Discord, it's the people, you gotta, I mean, there's not every time I'm going to be able to, like, answer every single question. And there's tons of people in the Discord that are happy to, like, answer some of those. But if you're new, a couple key things. Be patient with yourself. Know that a lot of people spend and have spent years doing nothing and gotten nothing back for it, or years doing something and still got nothing back for it. And this is something that if you spend a year or two doing, and you do it obviously with the goal minded or a goal oriented mindset, and you are willing to be wrong and change, and mentally you're prepared for it, because unfortunately this will teach you about emotion regulation, and that is an extremely important thing here, because all of us are attached to our money, and that's the one thing that you kind of have to not be. So I always tell people, start small. Don't put your whole ass cheek out there. So when you do get burned, because you will, and that scares people. But at the end of the day, I would rather risk a little bit of money learning than to risk my time and energy for somebody else's business or something else. So just if you're willing to approach the market in the right way, it can pay dividends. But if you approach the market like everybody sells it to you, or sells it to people, that it's just instantaneous wealth and that all you have to do is follow a signal, it's just not, that's just bad ethics in my opinion. So 55K. But all right, guys, have a wonderful evening. I'm out.